So here I have a triangle that is a non-right triangle, and here we're using trigonometry to find x. So some of you may have noticed that this triangle is a non-right triangle, and in my previous video I talked about using law of sines to solve for non-right triangles. So let's see in this case if we can use law of sines, because not every time we can use law of sines. So if we remember, the formula for law of sines is sine A over A, or A over sine A, equals to B over sine B, equals C over sine C. So let's say x is our A. So if we put x as A, then sine A is sine 60 degrees, because remember it has to be opposite to each other. Now here notice that in this triangle, you're only given one angle, but the other two angles remain unknown. So how can we solve for x? If you think about it, let's say if I want to use the side 8, I would put 8 over sine whatever angle that is opposite to it. So if you take a look here, the angle opposite of it is not given. So I can't use law of sines. On the other hand, if I put 8 as 10, it has to be 10 over sine whatever angle that is opposite to it. But it's also not given. So we cannot use law of sines. So what should we use if we cannot use law of sines? Well, let me introduce you to law of cosines. Before we apply law of cosines to solve for x, let me first introduce the formula for law of cosines, which is c squared equals to a squared plus b squared minus 2ab times cos c. So here it may be confusing because there's a lot of a's and b's and c's, but basically you don't have to care too much about which one is c, which one is a, which one is b. You just have to remember that whatever number is here has to correspond to the number over here. So this is the side because it's lowercase letter. I know it may be confusing because the C in uppercase letter and lowercase letter is quite similar, but this here is lowercase, which means that it is the side. And here it is the uppercase letter, and you know that because it says cos C. So whenever you see cos something or sine something or tan something, then that something is the angle. So here, what I would advise is put the unknown as C and put the given angle here. As we said earlier, there's only one angle given, which is 60 degrees. So you can put that 60 degrees as cos 60 degrees. Now if we put cos 60 degrees, that would make C as x because opposite, right? So x squared is equal to a squared plus b squared. Now I don't care which one is a. I don't care if the 8 is the a or the 10 is the a. It doesn't matter because anything plus anything, the order does not matter. So I can put a as 8 squared plus b squared, which is 10, minus, again, it doesn't matter the order because whatever times something is going to be the same regardless of the order. So here, I can just use my calculator and solve for x. So first I'm going to calculate what's here. So remember bed mass. Make sure you times these first and then add these together and then minus them. So if I put everything in my calculator, I get x squared equals to 84. If I want x alone, I have to square root both sides. So x is equal to square root 84. Or you can leave your answer as a decimal, which is 9.2, rounded that up on my calculator. And that's how you solve for an unknown side using law of cosines instead of law of sines.